Alright guys, how's it going? Today I'm going to give you guys some quick tips for new players that may be struggling or are finding the game a little difficult. Tactics Ogre Reborn can be quite a challenging game, especially if you didn't play the PSP version or know very little about it. So what I want to show first off, I'm in Chapter 3, pretty much past the halfway point, almost done with Chapter 3. And in Chapter 2, midway through Chapter 2-ish, you want to make sure you check your Warren report, because you can unlock an optional dungeon with birds in it. No, you can get an optional dungeon to farm, basically. And it's really important that you do that. It's for Rampa. This is what it is. You'll get this Warren report, and it can pop up in Chapter 2. And it'll help you so much, and it's right here. And I don't know if a lot of new players know about this or anything, because if you don't look at your Warren report, this won't show up. So it can be easily missable. But you come here, and you can farm money, and you can recruit griffins, dragons, other beasties. It's definitely worth doing. Even if you're level capped on Union level, because you're like level 19 or whatever in Chapter 2. Maybe it's 17, but you can get a lot of good units to help you later on in the game. I highly recommend griffins. Griffins are great. Get a couple dragons. I only have one. I need to get a couple more. Dragons are great too. These units don't require equipment. All their stats scale directly with level, so they're less management, less investment of money and time. You don't have to level up weapon skills with them or anything. Very useful, but that's just one part. That's one part. Getting yourself some monsters, doing some extra grinding. Definitely make more classes, too. A lot of people, what they do is they'll just take a character and swap class. What you should do is go to a place that has a shop. Welcome. And when you're in that shop, what you need to do is go to hire. And then just pick anybody. Maybe look at their stats, but, I mean, in the general scope, it doesn't really matter. Hire someone, okay? Once you hire them, and you go back to your party, you go to that character you just hired that's like a warrior that you don't want, and then you just use one of your change class tickets and turn them into your classes you need. That's the best way to do it. Just hire a default dude and change them. You know, I'd recommend like 2 of every class, possibly. Like, I got a male and female Dragoon, male and female Ninja, you know. It doesn't hurt to have a couple of everything, because you might need more than one of that class. This game is a lot of people think you can just get one group, one party, roll through the whole game, but that's not going to cut it, because some battles are going to require a certain class to be on the battlefield, or a certain makeup of party, and if all you're doing is rolling with the same 12 dudes, sure, you'll get through a good portion, but you're going to hit bricks, and then you're going to get frustrated, and you're going to get mad, and you're going to think there's nothing you can do, and the game's broken, and it's unplayable. But definitely have a variety of characters. Have different classes to be able to swap in, swap out. They do start at level 1. Just make sure you go do your training missions. You can, if you really want to, what I do for training is I go to training, I have all my good guys, and I have like the 1 or 2 new guys in the group. I put all the AI on. I turn the AI on, and I let it auto-battle. It takes about 5 minutes. They get their stuff done. You can go do something else. You know, I mean, it might sound kind of cheesy, but a lot of people go, oh, I got to level them up from 1 up to level 20. It's going to take forever. Just throw them into just do some auto battles. Like, pretend like it's a mobile game. I mean, not the most fun, interesting thing to say, but if you're annoyed that you got to level people up and they don't get hired at the level you have them, that's the best way to do it. And my most important tip, which I want to make this video short, so I don't want to ramble too long. A lot of people forget about buffs and debuff items, especially debuff items. Go to the shop, go to the sundries, that's not sundries, go to consumables, and get this stuff. We have so much good things, all your buffs. Get your Dynast King's Meads. They are perfect for what you need. They are the perfect debuff. Breach lowers their defense. You know, Breach is probably one of the greatest ones, and Weaken. Just make them deal less damage to you, lower their physical defense. I don't think people utilize these enough, or even like so many games anymore, you don't use items. You know, you just buy healing items and that's maybe it. You don't use debuffs, buffs. They are so useful, and you can put them on any unit. And a lot of people also don't know this, but the Beastmaster, if you have a Beastmaster, which you're gonna need if you want to tame any kind of beast, go to your Beastmaster. They have an ability, which I didn't know this right away, called Lobber. It allows them to throw items 3 to 6 range. So you can literally use an item at range with a Beastmaster. You could literally just make a Beastmaster, have him be your item jockey. I mean, they can only have 4 items, but you know, he can be at distance, throw the debuff on the boss, and then all your other units come in and wail on him. Because a lot of people are complaining about certain bosses in this game, which I agree, they are really tough because they start with all the cards and stuff to make them even tougher. You know, they'll just 1-2 shot your units, you know, all the time, constantly, and they're super, super tanky. Start debuffing, get a unit to debuff. This game really rewards creativity and the ability to build classes different ways. Just because you're a beast tamer doesn't mean you have to play it like a beast tamer. You can have 3 beast tamers all do totally different things. Same thing with a knight, same thing with an archer, whatever, a mage. You know, you don't have to play to what this class says. You can customize them in unique ways and make them very interesting and fulfill a really niche role that you need that unit to do, like the medic griffin. I'm sure you might have heard this before, but getting a griffin, putting a bunch of healing items on him, revive items, and having him kind of go and fight and then dash away to go help somebody. He's like a portable cleric. He's like the most mobile cleric you can have, you know? So you just kind of got to get creative, do some research, look some things up, but these are kind of ways to mitigate the difficulty in the game, get around unbeatable battles. Yeah, it's a little time consuming. Yeah, it's kind of annoying and you don't do it in most games, but games being a challenge is kind of a rare thing anymore, and I feel like this game, it requires you to use your brain, think, and adapt to the situation. In most games, you just do one thing and you just face roll, you know, you just use brute force your way through everything. You can't do that in this game. You got to kind of be tactical, you got to kind of use your brain, you know, it's pretty neat. But these are just my quick little tips. I know it was a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. Let me know if it helped you out. If you guys got any questions or comments, please drop them below. Be glad to answer them and help anybody out that's struggling with the game or needs advice. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. See you later. Peace, guys.